Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast. You have a solo cast today. It's just me. I kicked Brian out of the studio. Nah, just kidding. Just sometimes, he records something, I record something. And today I thought, you know what? I'm going to go record a podcast for my friends about finding and creating great content for your automotive repair shop. Before I dig in, let me first thank our friends Repair Pal for sponsoring our podcast again. Thank you so much to our friends at Repair Pal. They are providing you with this episode. Repair Pal's certified network of shops are trusted by millions of customers each month. Learn more at repairpal.com/shops. All right, everybody, listen. I am going to answer a bunch of questions that we hear regularly about content, about marketing for auto repair shops. What do I write about on my blog? What do I do a video about? What do I put on social media? All of that great stuff. And so before we jump in, I want to remind you of something that we always talk about on a regular basis. This is not new to you because you've heard Brian and I preach this, I don't know, maybe in almost every podcast that we talk about. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, Kim, don't say it again, but I am going to say it again. One, because it's my podcast. And the real thing is because it's that important. Here's what I want to tell you. When you're thinking about the content to create for your automotive repair shop, always, 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 first and foremost, think, who is my audience? What are they looking for? What are their questions? What are they wondering? And so I want to always come back to that because when you create content, you want it to be something, let's say for social media, I always like to say that it slows their scroll. So think about your customer, your potential customer, and they're scrolling Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it is, wherever your stuff is going, YouTube, they're scrolling through and looking at this stuff. What's going to cause them to stop? What's going to engage them? What's going to cause them to say, whoa, wait, what was that? Let me go back and look at that. Let me click and read this blog. Let me watch this video. Let me comment on this post. What is going to engage your audience? Always think with that in mind. And so once you've done that, okay, you know who you're talking to, then I also want to encourage you to listen to them. Let's start with your service advisors, for example. Give them a little notepad or something right there at the phone, at the desk. And when clients have questions, like, why does this happen when this light comes on? Or why do I need this? Or do I want this product or this product? Do you prefer this brand or that brand? Or what does this light mean? And what does that light mean? Like all these questions that people have for your service advisors or your technicians, or when you're out in the community and they're like, oh, you own a shop? You're a technician? I have a question for you. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You get these questions, write them down, and turn that into content. Create a video answering that question. Write a blog answering that question. Create a social media post answering that question. So listen to your community. Make notes of their questions. And if you've been following Brian and I for any length of time, let me turn around at my desk here and see. Yep, I've got this book. I'm going to grab this book. We always talk about this book, They Ask You Answer. So if you're watching me talk, maybe, I don't know. I'm curious. Y'all tell me, when you're watching Brian and I on YouTube, where are you? Are you sitting at your desk? Are you on the treadmill? Like, I'm just curious, like where are people when they're watching our video? It's a little random Kim thought. So if you see the video, you see I'm holding up this book. They ask, you answer. It is by Marcus Sheridan. And it says here a revolutionary approach to inbound sales, content marketing in today's digital consumer. Brian actually recorded a podcast or two, maybe a series not too long ago, where he broke down almost every chapter of this book and went through it and talked about it. So if you've been following us, you've heard about this book. I'm going to tell you again, please go read it. And let me tell you, I I do not know Marcus Sheridan and he does not know me. I'm not getting any kind of like affiliate money, or I'm not getting anything for recommending it. I'm recommending it because it is outstanding. Y'all know I like to finish books. I can't say that I like to read them because I'm just not I don't enjoy reading, but I enjoy learning. And so I'm constantly reading books, and this is one that Brian brought to us and to our team. So if you are seeking ideas for content, this book is going to blow your mind. So definitely go and pick that up, order it on Amazon, listen however you want to read the book, but read They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. So let's dig in a little bit. Where do you find content? Well, the first place, y'all, it's in your shop. Like it's in the shop. Look around. Brian and I just went and visited last week 3 of our clients, their shops in the Denver area. And we were in Denver for an agency related conference. You know how y'all go to Vision and ASTA and Tools and Apex and all these different conferences for auto repair shop owners? Well, we eat our own dog food. We tell you to go to conferences and we go to conferences. So we were at an agency conference with a whole bunch of agency owners from around the whole country in Denver. But while we were in Denver, we're like, let's go see our friends. So we went to visit 3 of our shops, and I walk in and my first question is always, hey, can I snap photos? And very often, I can't say this happened last week, but very often they're like, I mean, people always say yes, but they're like, okay, if you can find something to take a picture of. And I'm like, there's stuff everywhere. I started snapping photos and I send them back to my team to say, and I have a Google Drive folder that said Kim and Brian visit, and then the name of the shops. We had 3 different folders, and I dumped all these pictures in there. And then if you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw I always share all these pictures, but I'm doing it for a couple of reasons. One, content for us at Shop Marketing Pros. But I'm also taking pictures and videos for our clients to use as well. But you walk around your shop and you see stuff that you see every single day, and it's not special to you. It's not, it's not exciting you. But you have to get out of your own shoes and think like your clients, your potential clients, or even future team members for recruiting. So if you're looking for content, just open your eyes and look around. Do you have any cool things going on in there? But again, remember, you're thinking about content from the perspective of your audience. Okay. So as you look around the shop, your decorations, some of you have like the beautiful American flag hanging on display. So gorgeous. We were in a Euro shop last week, Auto Imports of Denver, and he had like a flag from all of the different car manufacturers hanging up, and it just looked great. Your lobby is, your waiting area is great, or your little snack bar, or your training room. There's stuff happening in your shop. Think also about your particular niche. If you're a specialty shop, right? Our friends over at Barney Brothers, for example, with Jeep and off-road performance. So think about the content, pictures, videos that relate specifically to your niche. What about a club that you're in, Rotary, Kiwanis, any of those types of things in your community? Or groups that you might be affiliated with. Maybe it's a car club or something like that, but you have content that's already out there. This is curated, that's out there that you can go and get and share, that's not necessarily your own. And I'm not talking about stock photography. I'm talking about you're a member of the Rotary Club and they shared something and you're sharing what they shared, whether it's an event happening in the local community or something like that. What about questions that are asked about shops or repairs or maintenance in your local community group? So I live in Hammond, Louisiana. We are in Tangipahoa Parish because we don't have counties here, we have parishes. And we have Facebook groups just for our city or just for our parish. And I very often see questions in there about, hey, which shop do I use for this? Or maybe they're just asking for advice about a specific repair or service. So look for the questions in your community groups. And then while we're speaking about your community, show off your roots. Show off the things that are happening in your community. The Chamber of Commerce, what are they posting? What's going on with them? Are you in a BNI group? Oftentimes the BNI groups are sharing when they induct a new member or when someone is doing their 10-minute presentation. And it's a great way for you to engage with your community by sharing that stuff on your page. It makes you look like you're connected. It looks like you might be the resource, or how you can just share other local small businesses. Maybe there are some events happening in your community. I know for us, our local government has a great Facebook page with really helpful, incredible information that you want to be shared in the community. Your tourism, like we're a big tourism area, so maybe the tourism organization or economic development, the clubs that I was talking about earlier. What about your schools, the local schools, if you want to support and kind of cement for your community that you care about and you're involved with your local community? See what the local schools are sharing and share that. Don't forget that there's also content you can be putting out there with regard to hiring, showcasing your team members, or that you have a position available, pointing people to your careers page, or even promoting people in your shop. Someone moves from and I know everybody calls these different things, but from a B tech up to an A tech, and they get some sort of promotion, or they're now the shop foreman or service advisors are doing different things, but promoting your team members. Then finally, another great source of content would be your customer reviews. Pull those reviews, and instead of them just populating on your Facebook page with just some text and some stars, literally take a snippet of that review and put it in a neat little graphic that you can create and share the graphic along with the text, the full text for the review. So use your customer reviews as content. That is a great place to find content, is using your customer reviews. So I'm going to share also some things that are pretty obvious. And you may think, I don't know about that. Like, that just seems boring, but it's helpful information that you need to put kind of on repeat and put out there. And this is your name, address, phone number, the scheduling link, the link directly to your online scheduler, links to your website, your blog content. When you create a blog, you need to share that. You want to put it out in the world, whether it's on Facebook, Instagram, put it on a story with a link to the blog, put it in your Google business profile as a post, but promoting that information through social media, your email campaigns, all of that. And then don't forget that you want to promote on Instagram your Facebook page. Like, get people from Instagram over to your Facebook and vice versa. Lots of people are on both, and they might think to follow you on one but not the other. And so if there are some who are, I do know people who are only on Instagram, or they're like, I don't ever use that, I only use Facebook. But just encourage people to follow you on the different platforms. So the next thing that seems kind of obvious to me, but might not seem obvious to you, just like there's stuff happening in your shop that you think is obvious, but it's not obvious to your clients. So same kind of thing, but really sharing who you are. What are you about? What's the company culture like in your shop? What are y'all doing together? Are you attending trainings? Are you hosting events? Are you sharing when someone completed a training or is certified? Like, what about your company lunches or barbecues or birthdays, anniversary, work anniversaries, any type of celebration, or if you're sponsoring the Little League baseball team or whatever it might be? These are all things that relate to your shop that it's pretty obvious to me that you would be sharing this stuff, but it might slip your mind. You might not think about that being great for social media, but it is. So I'm also not thinking just about social media. We talked about They Ask You Answer for creating great blog content or certain pages on your website relating to certain services that you might be offering. So these are just some of the more obvious things that I think about, but the ones that might not be so obvious would be video content and creating what we call a content machine for yourself. Blogs, videos. And so going back to They Ask You Answer, if you're listening to your clients on the phone, in Facebook groups, what they ask the service advisor, what they're asking technicians, and you're taking that question, how do I, we're coming up on, I'm recording this on May 28th, and this will come out in June, and we're into the summer season and road trips. Every single year, we end up with questions like, how do I improve my gas mileage? Okay. So, very simple, easy question. Well, you or your service advisor or one of your technicians, it doesn't have to be you, the shop owner. You figure out who's comfortable doing a video, right? And pick them. Brian likes to say, hey, put a bounty on videos. Tell your team you're going to pay $50 for every video they record. Whatever works for you. But pull that phone out. Don't complicate it. You don't have to have some full on video production situation. Just pull out your phone and record a video answering the question. Hey, y'all, I'm going to talk to you today about 5 tips for improving your gas mileage. So you have to tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell them what you told them you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. So you're going to intro with, hey, we're going to talk about 5 tips for improving your gas mileage. Tip number 1 is this. Tip number 2, 3, 4, 5. And don't spend forever explaining it and drawing it out, but go over the 5 tips quickly and then tell them what you told them. Hey, today we talked about 5 tips for improving your gas mileage. If you feel like you need some help with this, hey, go schedule an appointment with us. Link below, blah, blah, whatever it might be. You can put that in the text with the video, but make it short and simple. Now, if you're going to go on a long educational thing and it's going to be longer than just a couple of minutes, that's fine. There are people who love to listen to those long educational videos and some who just want the short little reel, like, let me just get right through it very quickly. That's fine. Done is better than perfect. Like, let's just get started. So when you record that video, we like to call it a content machine because you got the question, you answered the question on a video, it got transcribed and converted into a blog post. You put the video on YouTube, you have the blog on your website, and then it was 5 tips for improving your gas mileage. Well, guess what? That's at least 7 different social media posts. 1, you're introducing it and you're putting a link to the blog. Then you're breaking it down into the 5 individual tips. Those are 5 individual Facebook or social media posts. tip number one, another one, tip number two, so on and so forth. And then you're doing another one, recapping it, and again, driving people to the blog. So before you know it, you've just used one question and converted it into a month's worth of social media, blog, YouTube content marketing for yourself, for your shop. So use videos. They ask you answer related types of content to create marketing for yourself through a content machine that just fuels you every single month. When you read the book, it's going to tell you a lot more different types of content that you can create. That's in the podcast that Brian did where he broke down that book. So, the other thing I want to share with you is the thing that's not so obvious is that creating this content, when you need to put it out on social media, use your own photos to include in there. But Canva is a tool that we actually taught a class on Canva in our auto repair marketing mastermind Facebook group just like a month ago, I think. And you can go and watch that video for free. It's in our Facebook group. Just jump in there and do a search for Canva and you'll find it. But Canva has tips in it. It has templates in it. If you're looking for content, a not so obvious source for content ideas is the templates in Canva. When you get in there and you start seeing all of the templates, you're like, oh, wow, that is a great idea. I can do that for my shop as well. So I love that as a source for inspiration and ideas. So once you've gotten a lot of these content ideas together, let me give you some practical tips for putting it together. Don't forget to use your brand voice, your personality, the culture of your shop, your essence. Like, do you tend to be more funny, more professional, relaxed, more laid back? Like, what is the tone of voice? So include that. Include your logo, your colors. Always drive traffic to your website when you can. Again, I mentioned Canva, but use Canva to go in there to put your pictures in there that you took on your phone. Drop your logo quickly and easily onto that picture. You can crop it and make it look really good. You can put text on there. So use Canva. That is a practical tip to help you make things look good, a little polished and engaging, interesting. And then consider creating a plan for yourself. In other words, what are you posting on Mondays? What are you posting on Tuesdays? When you have a plan, it makes it easier than just waking up and going, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to put today? What am I focusing on this week for my blog or this month for my blog?" But an example for social media, for example, would be Mondays, post something interesting from your website that drives traffic to your website. Make it fun with some emojis and, a good little caption. On Tuesdays, maybe you are posting tips on Tuesdays, or you have a technician who's going to go live on video and do some tech talk and maybe just share a new product. Maybe you sell BG products and you want to focus on one of them, or a new piece of equipment, or there's just something happening in the shop, and have one of your technicians do a tech talk on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, you're sharing something fun and cool, shop culture related. Thursdays, you're promoting a service or an offer or a link to your appointment booking, which you kind of want to always do that when possible, when it makes sense. And then on Friday, you're just posting something fun. Maybe there's something cool happening in your community, an event for the weekend or something like that. So create a plan to make it easier for you to actually implement and get something going. You might even look at the whole year and say, okay, January, I'm going to be focusing on this. February, I'm going to be focusing on this. March, so on and so forth. Look at the seasons. Think about what's happening in your community. Think about questions relating to car repair or maintenance that would fit in certain months, and that's your blog focus. Again, of course, going back to what your clients are asking of you. So those are some things to help you just kind of think about, where do I find this content? where do I create content? How do I create content? What is the topic going to be about? You don't have to start from scratch every single time, y'all. There's content all around you if you just open your eyes and start paying attention to your surroundings, the conversations. How about crazy repairs or something wild that happened in the shop, or whether it's a DVI. You guys have, if you're doing a DVI, you have a library of video and photos right there. Tell a story about the car in the crazy car story today, or here's something interesting that we saw on this vehicle that came in for repair or service. Here's something that you need to know. But just look around, open your eyes, relax a little bit, think about it from the perspective of your client or future team member. What are they looking for? Future team members are looking at the pictures on your website, your social. They want to see what the shop is like. Is it clean and organized? Is it bright in there? I can't believe how many shops we have visited where it was really dark. I don't know how the techs can even see in there. They're looking at what tools and equipment are in there. They're looking at, is this a place where I want to be? Do they look like a close-knit group of people? Am I going to enjoy working there? Are they doing training? They're only going to know that because it's content you're putting out there. So I really hope, we have a lot, and in the show notes, I'm going to have links to, oh my gosh, like 5 or 6 different blogs or podcasts that our team has put together all around the idea of content. But I realized that we've never done a podcast specifically on finding and creating content. So I wanted to put this together for you. I hope that it is helpful. I would really love if you email me at podcast@shopmarketingpros.com. Let me know what you learned. What are you taking away? What piece of content were you like, oh yeah, that is a great idea. Let me try that. Let me do that. And then likewise, if you have a fun idea for where you get your content ideas, I would love for you to go and put that in the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind Facebook group. I'm so proud of our group. We worked really hard for, oh my gosh, like 5 or 6 years to get it to the point where it is now. We have over 1,600 people in that Facebook group right now, all mostly shop owners talking marketing for their auto repair shops. So lots of great conversations, tips, tricks, all happening in there, and free classes that we teach once a month for sure. So go take a peek, go join the Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind Facebook group. Just going to answer some simple questions. How'd you find out about the group? You're going to say podcast. What's the name of your shop? Well, what's the name of your shop? And then do you agree to be respectful in the group, not solicit? We're very particular about that. I'm constantly banning people because they are going in there and promoting themselves. And so I hope to see you soon in our Facebook group. Hey, listen, thanks again for listening to the Auto Repair Marketing Podcast on the Aftermarket Radio Network. There are some other great shows on the network, and you can find them all at aftermarketradionetwork.com or on your favorite podcast listening apps like Spotify, Apple, Google, and many others. I hope you have enjoyed this. And once again, we hope to see, hear, connect with you next week as you tune in for another episode. Until then, friends, go fill those bays.